Boxing King Media, powered by BYD and the Riyadh season. Delighted to be joined by Mr. Jose Ramirez out here at the Robert Garcia gym in Riverside. Jose, how you doing first of all?
I'm good. I'm doing good, man. I'm happy to be back at Robert Garcia's gym. Motivated to get back in the ring soon.
I was just saying to you, this gym's surrounded by so much talent, and every time I come here, there's always new young fighters coming through, and you're like 30 fights in. Do you feel like I don't want to use the word old, but like a veteran in this gym now?
Well, you know what? I just felt like I've been somewhat inactive in the last couple of years. That I feel like a lot of years went by, and I really don't feel. I'm 31. I'll be 32 soon, but I don't feel like a veteran, But especially, working with these tough young guys, that push you, and I push them, So, but the reality, the truth is, I gotta be more consistent. And I gotta stay more active, and take advantage, because this is an important chapter in my career. It might be the last, so gotta make sure we stay focused.
On paper, you've only got one blemish, and that was a very close fight that could have gone either way. But how do you evaluate your career with all the ability you've got? You're a guy that Robert's spoken highly about for years. Big puncher, really good fighter, counter puncher. You've got everything. So how do you kind of evaluate where you are with your career right now?
First and foremost, I think it's important to stay active. Ever since I got to like the year 2019, I was fighting 2 times, 3 times a year, and I was looking great. The moment the pandemic came in, I started fighting once a year, and I fought once in 2020, once in 2021. I think that hurt me the most. So I think I'm excited to be back in the ring, and hopefully fight for the second time this year in 2024. So that's when I'm going to be able to evaluate myself a little bit more. When I show more. More in me when I fight more. But I feel mentally, I feel great. My body feels good. No injuries, so I'm very blessed with that. So I feel really strong. I feel really strong. Right now we're looking at possibly moving up to 147. See if that weight class will be better for me. I just been at 140 for a long time.
And with regards to your fight date, have you got an official fight date that can be announced yet?
There's nothing official, but we're aiming for the last week of September. But there's nothing official. Hopefully, with the next couple of weeks, we'll have something to announce. But I'm in the gym working hard. So regardless, in my mind, I already have a date set in September, which is the last weekend on the 28th, and that's gonna be for me. That's the target date. If it gets moved back, then it's just better for me. I get more weeks to work. But that's where I'm at right now.
I just want to talk about one of your previous opponents, obviously Josh Taylor. You had a great fight with him. You will have watched his 2 fights with Jack Catterall. How did you kind of evaluate them? Was it not just the first fight, the second fight, the judging and scoring?
Yeah, the first fight was very, very close. I felt like Jack won the first half of the fight, and then Taylor came back and won the second part of the fight. It could have gone either way, but you could see sometimes. Fighters, they go through some wars. I think, Taylor's has been through some of the strong fights, and you see then you saw him, get beat by Teofimo Lopez, and, sometimes, a fighter could get discouraged, and then he went back and lost the game with Catterall the second time. Again, I felt like, he started very slow in the fight and gave some of those rounds to Jack, and I think Jack came in a little bit more confident in the first fight too, so it showed that he was more confident. He looked a little stronger, not just out boxing, but he actually looked a little stronger. He hurt Taylor, with a punch and I think it was like 8th, 9th round, and so yeah, just sometimes fighters, they feel like after the first loss they take it hard. Some fighters, they just get back up and continue moving forward. So that's my take. And Taylor, it just seems like he got discouraged after his fight against Teofimo Lopez, and he went under very, very low confidence against Catterall.
From a British perspective, I'd be curious to know what you thought of Josh as a fighter, because you'll see it a lot. It happens in America where when fighters lose, people forget about what they've done. Obviously, he was undisputed champion, had a very good fight with you. How good is Josh Taylor from your personal experience?
He's when I faced him, he was good. He was confident. He believed in himself, and well, European fighters they have great skills. Lot of speed. They box very well. They have a great amateur background. They've done very well in the Olympics. And English fighters they're solid. They've always been solid. One thing about Taylor though that it was one of my mistakes that I was respecting the clinches, and he showed that he's a little bit on the dirty side of a fighter. Even Jack Catterall, witnessed Teofimo Lopez witnessed some of the dirty tactics that Taylor uses. He's not the most cleanest fighter, and I paid some other consequences because of that. But overall, I would love to face Taylor again and kind of and see what the outcome is the second time. Because I'll be ready for everything he has to offer.
I think fans would love to see that. I'm just curious, do you ever watch the British fighters that are coming up in your weight division as well?
Yeah, there's great talents. There's a guy that beat Jose Zepeda. He's looking pretty good.
Dalton Smith?
Dalton Smith, yeah, he's looking pretty big. I really don't watch as much boxing as people might think. But I see certain fights, and he's looking very promising. And I'm sure there's other fighters that I might miss.
What did you think of his stoppage of Zepeda? Because again, it was a hard fight for him up until that moment. And sometimes when fighters get a stoppage like that, people are quickly saying, "Oh, maybe Zepeda hasn't got it in him anymore." But the reality was, he clearly did.
No, Zepeda's always been good, man. He's always been game, and that was a perfectly body shot landed right in the middle in the lower part of the chest, and just show that that Smith guy he has what it takes to face adversity, and I think that's what could bring fighters to become world champions.
He's a great kid, trained by his father. I'll name you a couple of others, see if you've heard of them. Conor Benn.
Conor Benn, yeah, well, I've seen some of the fights of Conor Benn. Conor Benn, I think, the thing about Conor Benn, he hasn't been kind of solid in the weight class. He fights 145, 147, then he's calling guys who are 160. And, but I think at 147 he could be a good fighter. He shows some he opens up a little bit sometimes, overly aggressive, and I think a smart fighter could land an uppercut down the middle. But he's a good fighter. I know what I heard, I think he went through some controversy with some of his testing. But again, I don't really focus too much about those the drama behind boxing. I'm kind of just focused on the guy in front of me, and that's it.
That's fair play, man. Jose, I won't take too much of your time. I just want to get your predictions for the big fights this weekend. Riyadh season coming to America. What do you make of what Turki Al Sheikh's doing with regards to bringing such an event to the US?
I think that's great. That's good for boxing. Now, we see this, Saudi Arabia being interested in not just boxing, but entertainment as a whole, and sports from all over the world, so it's exciting because now everything through social media, I think there's influencers, there's young kids, watching what's happening in Saudi Arabia. It's interest in sports, and I think it's good for boxing, especially for fighters. We get to get the chance to, financially be set and make the big fights happen. And I think a guy like that, will make big fights happen without, the financial part being an issue. And I know he's working now with Golden Boy. He just announced a partnership with Golden Boy, and I just signed with Golden Boy, so that's exciting. That's exciting for me. So I think that's a good, very, very big thing in boxing, for fighters to fight the best and get motivated to fight the best.
Indeed, I believe so, brother. Quick predictions for the Ready to Fight app on Crawford, Madrimov, and Andy Ruiz, Jarrell Miller. Miller's dropped 45 pounds as well. Big factor in the fight.
Yeah, and we'll see. Miller's always been a a big boy, and I think sometimes having too much mass might get you tired mid fight. So him losing 45 pounds, you might see him in better shape. But I think Anthony Ruiz just has the speed that not too many heavyweights have, and I think that's always dangerous because when you put the punches together, the combinations together, like Anthony Ruiz does, he lands that one good punch right in the temple, or any solid good punch, it could hurt anybody, but we'll see. I think, we can also see the inactivity of Anthony Ruiz, but I think Anthony Ruiz will take that one. I think it's a good fight. It's a good comeback fight for him, for Miller, and then I got Crawford, I think, winning the fight at 154.
Good stuff, man.
And then I got we're also cheering on our teammate, Rayo, who's fighting Pitbull, man. So that's
Great fight.
I think that's the fight to watch, man. I think that's the fight to watch. I think that's definitely a fight that might take, I'll take over the show and excite the most people. And I think, Pitbull, has really shown a lot of great skills and confidence in his abilities, and has really, brought a big movement from the Mexican public to support the junior welterweight division, and that's good for our weight class. But Rayo, man, Rayo's been working hard. He's he got some great skills, and he's gonna show up to win the fight.
I'm looking forward to it. Whilst you're talking on that, the last fight I want to speak to you about, I don't know if it's true or not, but rumours are suggesting Gervonta Davis may fight Shakur Stevenson because Shakur's a free agent. Gervonta's not got an opponent anymore. How do you see that? It's a great clash of styles.
Definitely, I think one's a boxer punching, the other one's a straight, very skillful boxer. And I think it's a good fight. There's so many great fights right now happening. I think now everybody's making that step to make those fights happen. I think promoters are not getting in the way as much as they used to. Now they're seeing the fighters are willing to move on if the promoter doesn't give them the fights. So that's good that the fighters are standing up for what they believe they deserve, as far as not just financially, but as far as these fights that they're looking forward to. And that's gonna be a close fight, believe it or not.
Sitting on the fence.
Yeah, man. I can't choose a winner on that fight. I think it's just gonna be a good fight.
Yeah, I think you agree, Jose. Any last words before I let you go? And I genuinely appreciate your time today.
Yeah, man. I just hope to be back soon and late September, like I said, and get back to getting those belts back, man, and get back in the mix against facing some of those guys like Teofimo Lopez, Tank Davis, Pitbull, anybody at 140, Jack Catterall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dalton Smith.
Smith.
There's another kid, Adam Azim. Have you heard of him?
No, I haven't. Just again, I just heard of Bob Smith after the Spedo fight. But there's good fights. I think right now I'm looking for, fights to get me closer to the world title. I'm on a three win streak. So hopefully I get, fight for a title eliminator and then for a world champion next.
Jose, you've been a great boxer to watch, from across the pond. So we look forward to seeing you back in the ring soon. Thank you for your time, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you.